everybody. Welcome to episode 551 of Good Luck High Five.
That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Megan.
And on today's show, we are looking into the future.
Oh, how far into the future, fortune teller?
Well, 3 years to be exact.
Whoa.
Up to
very
3 years.
Specific.
1 year, 2 year, and 3 years. It's all included in the price of your fortune telling.
How much is my fortune telling?
We're going to get to that after I do
Okay.
everything. You know, I'm going to let you know. It's going to be a lot. But you at home don't have to pay a single dime. You're already getting this for free.
That's right. Or you're not.
Say more about that, Megan.
Thank you so much to people who are patrons of the show.
Yes, absolutely.
If you are not getting this show for free, you're a hero.
You are a true hero.
You really are
a magic
true
hero.
Hero of the show. Patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Like, you know, be a patron. It's just real nice.
It's just a real nice thing to do, everybody.
Yes.
Supporting the community you love and content creators you love is a real thing.
It is a real thing.
And it makes this show happen every single week. It'll be free forever, but for those of you who pay, you are the ones that make it continuing to be free for everybody.
You're helping art be in the world. And
It's
I'm just gonna put this out there. If you have an Amazon Prime membership, you know, counteract that by also supporting an artist.
Hey, there you go. You get absolved.
Thank you so much specifically to new patrons. Do you know what? I don't like. Why do I never have puns ready? I don't know. Really leap in.
I think it's better that you don't.
Okay, Nathan. Thank you so much to Nathan.
Yay, Nathan.
Nathan,
you're better than a whole mouth of hot dogs.
There you go.
What do you think about that one?
Oh, yeah. You're better, you know. How about a you contest? Anyways, that one's really working.
That was a struggle.
Thank you so much to 7mm Furry.
Yay! 7mm Fury.
That's, you know, I also can't make... Maria, we talked earlier about how our brains are not functioning, and like you're seeing... in real time right now that my brain is like not there.
Yeah. Well,
more like 7 meters swim. More like the 7-meter fly. Am I right?
Yeah. That would be a very fast swimming contest.
That'd be the shortest swimming contest of all time. You jump in
Everybody
the pool,
ties.
you touch the wall.
Everybody ties. We don't know why we do this one anymore.
Why do we do this race? It's not a long swimming race.
Well, thanks, 7mm. Thank you.
Robert, you're forging a new path ahead for Good Luck High Five. Robert knows what that's about.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Well, thank you, Robert. All those people became new patrons or increased their pledges since last episode. If you want the same glory as these puns that these listeners have received.
And how could you not when they were all so good?
Please consider becoming a patron or increasing their pledge by next episode.
They were all, I'm pretty confident saying that they were all coherent and clever.
Well, you know,
Coherent and clever.
Yes, I'll say clever for sure.
Okay, wow. Generous.
Yeah, you keep the podcast happening. So if you want that kind of fanfare, please become a patron before our next episode.
Yes.
We also want to say thank you to Card Kingdom. They've been fantastic through the life of this podcast.
The whole life. And
we just want to say, if you want anything for your magical life, you can check them out at cardkingdom.com/GLHF. Pre-order the Wilds of Eldraine right now.
It is available on their website to pre-order.
Yeah. I think the set, who knows? Because the previews are actually starting today for the first time.
Ooh.
We haven't seen them yet, but every preview art that we've seen for the set so far looks incredible.
Looks so good. I'm very excited.
Very excited. If you're hyped, you can pre-order right now. Get a box to draft with your friends. cardkingdom.com/GLHF.
Get your little thingies on the keyboard and type it in.
We've got a preview card coming up for this set. It's going to come out on the 20th, which is Sunday, which is a little weird for us, but that's where to look for it, everybody.
Oh, yeah. Also, people were asking.
Yeah.
In the Discord, is there something that you can say? You can say, good luck, have token.
Yeah.
They'll give you a token.
They'll give you a token. If they've got any left. I hope they do. Otherwise, we can send him some more.
Yeah. Do you know what? Nathan, this episode's for you. There we go. Got there. Nathan for you. Like the show. Okay?
There it was.
Found it.
There it was all along.
Oh, boy.
We're going to kick things off this episode before we dive into the future with a look to the past from the Randomizer.
Yes.
We went to scryfall.com, hit the random button. We're going to try and guess what these cards do from the art alone.
All right, Maria, are you ready?
Yeah, I mean, can I be? What is this? Okay, this art is fantastic. This is Miri, I want to say, or one of Miri's relatives.
Yeah.
Which is a jungle cat. What kind of cat is that?
It's a sexy cat lady.
It's a sexy cat lady. She's wearing a little bikini.
Yeah.
And she's up in a tree.
Yeah.
It's the middle of the night. The moon is out and she's holding a sunflower.
Yeah, she's sniffing it.
This is a very, very cool piece of art. And wearing a diamond bracelet that's glinting in the moonlight.
She is wearing a very nice bracelet.
I feel like that must be important. That bracelet's got to
It
be
is, like,
important.
shining.
Because else why is it like sparkling in this art? Is the name Miri in this art? That's I want a hint.
Oh, wow. You want a hint?
This is the first time I've ever asked for a hint on the randomizer.
It is like Miri's name is not in this.
Okay. Is she referenced in the flavor text?
She is referenced in the flavor text.
Okay, so it is her. So at least I feel like I know that it's her.
Yeah.
She's on the
well
crew of the
done.
original Weatherlight. So I would have said like this is Miri's diamond bracelet or something.
Go for it. Yeah.
But I'm just going to call it Diamond Cuff.
Okay.
Diamond Cuff. And it's like Lion's Eye Diamond.
Oh.
But what if it was a printing of
Real-
Lion's Eye Diamond?
Do you know what Lion's Eye Diamond does?
I don't remember. It's a combo piece.
All right.
You know, this is Diamond Cuff.
Okay.
And it does the same thing as Lion's Eye Diamond, but worse.
All right. So you think it's an artifact?
Yeah, it's an artifact. Here, I'm going to look up Lion's Eye Diamond. So to read this card for everybody,
Okay.
discard your hand, sacrifice Lion's Eye Diamond, add 3 mana of any one color, activate it only as an instant. It costs 0.
Yeah.
So how close am I?
You are quite far away. This card is actually pretty wild.
Okay.
It's called Nature's Kiss.
Oh, what?
It is 1 and a green. It's an enchantment aura.
Oh.
Enchant creature. 1. Exile the top card of your graveyard. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
That's what it is? And you can just activate it just for 1?
Yes.
Oh,
But
well.
the aura does nothing by itself. You must exile a card.
an exile card and cost 2. Well, I suppose it's,
Yeah. And you can't do it unless, like, exiling the top card of your graveyard is part of the cost.
interesting.
So you cannot activate this if you have no cards in your graveyard.
Right. It's pretty bad.
It is.
I've seen worse cards, but
it is pretty bad though. It's like pretty high up there.
on the bad scale.
On the bad scale.
+1 is not the bonus that I want. What would I want? +2/+2 for
I
exiling
don't know.
card?
I mean, I think
Threat
that
of activation?
Maria, I think that for 1 and a green, you can ask your aura to just give your creature a bonus.
But it could be any
Period.
creature, you know what I mean? It's like it's on all creatures.
Okay, but
Wait,
this just says
This is
enchanted creature.
This is an aura, not an enchantment. Okay.
No, this
All
is an aura.
Yeah, that is terrible.
I cradle my rage even as the earth cradles my dead kin.
What?
Miri of the Weatherlight.
Wow, that is
Grim.
metal flavor text.
It's pretty metal.
She doesn't look like she's cradling any rage in that art, I'll tell you
No,
that.
she looks pretty peaceful.
She
Art
looks
by none other
hanging
than
out.
Scott M. Fisher.
That is a great piece of art. Wow, I'm happy I know that card exists.
Yeah.
Weird. Well, your art.
It's from Weatherlight, obviously.
Well, that makes sense. Your art is gonna be the polar opposite. Here you go.
Wow. Pope Francis?
That is Pope Francis.
Okay, I am looking at, it's just an old man sitting on a bench. It's a close-up of him.
Yeah.
He has long, straight white hair. He's wearing like a little hat that's
Yeah.
green. He's wearing cardinal clothes, except they're green instead of red.
Yes.
Like, I don't know how else to describe it. That's what he's wearing. He's wearing religious garb.
Where is he?
He's just in room.
This looks like he is in bed to me.
Oh, you think he's in bed?
This looks like Charlie's grandpa.
Oh, I think you're right. In my mind, he's sitting on like one end of a bench, but you're right. He's like sitting in bed.
That's what it looks like, but why is he fully dressed?
I don't know. This card is called The Pope in Bed. I'm kidding. It's not. Maybe it's a fancy nightgown. He's wearing like a fancy nightgown.
I guess it could be.
All right. I'm going to call this This card is going to be called Grandpa Stiltskin.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
That's Gramps right there.
Grandpa Stiltskin. It's 1 and a white for a 1/1 creature. And you can pay 1 and sacrifice it to give another permanent you control protection from the color of your choice until end of turn.
Oh, wow. So he's like Mother of Runes, except he's Grandpa of Runes.
He's Grandpa of Runes.
What if I told you the name of this creature was Hasdur the Abbot?
Do you know what? I'd believe it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
3 white. So you did manage to get that this card is white.
Yeah.
It's a human cleric, legendary. X tap. The next X damage that would be dealt this turn to target white creature you control is dealt to Hasdur the Abbot instead.
Oh, yeah, interesting.
You had the vibe.
So I had like the vibe of him like protecting other stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, I feel pretty good about that.
This from Homelands. As you might expect from such a garbage card. But there
Homelands,
it is.
Some of the worst cards in Magic's history.
Mean, he's a 2/5, so he can take a fair amount of damage.
That's true.
But you've got to be playing white creatures, else Hasdur don't care.
Yeah, well, he's a white creature, so.
And he's an abbot.
Yeah.
Not a cardinal.
Well,
What's the difference?
I don't know if they have cardinals in Magic lore.
Is an abbot better than a cardinal? Abbot versus cardinal.
The only thing better than a cardinal is a pope.
Is a pope? Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, well then. All right, we've downgraded him.
Okay, wait, before we get going, I was going to tell you.
What?
We have been talking X-Files sometimes.
Oh, yeah, we have been.
At the start of this podcast.
Yeah.
It's like Meghan tells Maria about basketball, except Maria is a way more willing participant in this conversation.
And you've been working your way through season 1.
Yeah, it's really excellent.
It's great.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's the episode where like Mulder's like ex or whatever comes back.
Okay.
Right? It's like the British lady.
I don't remember. Maybe.
I know. She's like pretty forgettable. It's a forgettable episode. And like Gillian Anderson, like Scully is like kind of like jealous or whatever. And I swear the only reason why they have that episode and that happen is because in season 1, it is abundantly clear that David Duchovny wants to sleep with Gillian Anderson. Like he has the hots for her big time, and Gillian Anderson does not care.
Yeah.
And so they had to put that episode in there to balance out the dynamic.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, it's been a hot minute since I've watched through season 1.
Let me tell you, in season 1, that is the chemistry that is there.
Wow.
It is one way, and Gillian Anderson's like, be a professional. Whatever.
We work together.
Exactly.
Well, it will be established in later seasons that Mulder has a slight bit of a problem with watching some adult videos. It becomes canon, and as we know, it was also his real life.
Wow.
It's not like in the script, but it is visually implied.
What?
We'll put it that way, in more than one episode. Yeah.
Amazing. Very excited.
Fun X-Files facts from Maria.
Well, anyways, that's just,
yeah.
It was just very funny to me because that episode happened and I'm like, Scully, like Gillian Anderson obviously does not care, but they had to put this episode in to be like, we really need to balance this out. It is just too abundantly clear.
I also want to tell you before we get into our main topic here that the VML championships are coming up. Everybody.
Oh, yeah. So exciting.
Yeah. So the top 8 players of seasons 8 through 10 are battling for 2 Pro Tour invites.
Amazing.
And other great prizes, by the way, in draft and standard. So this is 24 players over 2 days. There's also 10 regional championship invites on the line.
Yeah.
August 19th and 20th.
So that's this coming weekend.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Check it out. It's super exciting.
Twitch.tv/VMLMTG, and that's Lord of the Rings draft and standard that they're going to be playing. It's a very cool tournament series. Good Luck High Five, proud to be a sponsor.
Yeah.
And this is, an epic 2-day tournament. I think that's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Anybody could have entered it, and now some people are going to be going to the Pro Tour.
Amazing.
And getting more sweet prizes here.
Yeah.
So check that out if you want something to stream this weekend that's Magic related. All right, now we're going to dust off our crystal ball and look into the future, 2024 and beyond.
Hey, fortune teller, how much is this going to cost
Well,
me?
we're not there yet.
But
Wait, you gotta wait till the end of the reading. Last episode, we talked about everything that was happening the end of this year, through the end of this year. But now we're gonna move to 2024.
This just feels like a trap.
And beyond. Well, We'll see. Now that you're in the tent, the doors are locked.
What?
And here
How
we go.
How do you lock the doors on a tent?
Don't worry about it. First, though, I want to say, before we get into 2024, the end of 2023, Cons of Tarkir is coming.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I just want to say that.
You won't see me for weeks.
It's Megan's favorite draft format.
It is my favorite draft format of all time.
And they're bringing it to Arena, everybody. They say late in 2023.
Morph, my friend.
I mean, the draft is really great.
It's so good. And if you have not ever played, if you're newer players like after Cons of Tarkir, it has Morph.
Yep.
Which is just like one of my favorite mechanics.
It's so cool.
And I can't believe it is such a good mechanic. I can't believe that we haven't seen it since Cons of Tarkir.
That was the last time we saw it.
Which is unbelievable to me because Morph is a great mechanic.
It's really, really, really fun. And it's awesome for like playing early, playing late, etc.
Yeah.
So I just want to point that out, that that's happening before the end of this year. And then by the end of 2024, another exciting Arena thing is that they're going to have Tournament Pioneer on the client by the end of next year.
Very exciting.
So they're going to be releasing Pioneer Masters, which will be a draftable set exclusive to Arena that'll include all-star cards of Pioneer. Mm-hmm. And basically, we're going to have Pioneer on Arena by the end of next year.
Yeah.
So I just want to point those two things out.
And Cons of Tarkir marks the end of them doing like the remastered sets. If you remember, they had like Kaladesh remastered, which is how we got that Spooky Moon remastered. And now Cons of Tarkir is them moving. They're like, we're not going to do remastered sets. We're just going to do these releases of these sets. And then, you know, do
you mean specifically on Arena?
Yeah, specifically on Arena.
Right, because we're going to kick off 2024 with Ravnica Remastered.
Yes.
So that's going to be...
That's like paper.
That's paper. They didn't say it was going to be on Arena, and that's probably why.
Yeah.
Because they're just like not going to be doing that anymore. But they are releasing Ravnica Remastered. So kicking off 2024, that's the first thing happening in Q1. It's going to be cards all the way from the first Ravnica set, which was City of Guilds, to the last one, which was War of the Spark, featuring retro frames and lots of stuff basically focusing in on the guilds of Ravnica.
Yeah.
Which is exciting for us because our first set was Return to Ravnica in 2012. So that was our first plane we ever visited.
Exactly. And it seems like it was a lot of people because that's when they marked Pioneer starting.
Yes. It must have been
feels like it was like a turning point in Magic. We created the turning point. Maria and I, through the power, our energy arriving into the game of Magic, created like a fixed point in time for Magic the Gathering that they have to acknowledge.
Yes, it's where the timeline would diverge if this was Back to the Future.
Yes,
which I think is very cool. And
do you think about that? Like your personal timeline definitely diverged the day that you learned to play Magic the Gathering.
Oh, absolutely.
As did mine, obviously.
What do you think what you would be doing now if
I don't
you
even
didn't
know.
learn?
And sometimes it makes me sad to think about.
Can you imagine?
Like, I feel sad for me that didn't learn Magic.
I mean, like, I can't even, it's just diverged so far off the course of history that there's no way to think back to before that butterfly flapped his little wing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
no,
it's weird to think about.
Very weird.
Anyways, but back to that's our origins.
That's our
2012, and it's going to give a lot of players who maybe started after Return to Ravnica or whatever a way to experience all the guilds and everything Ravnica has to offer in this neat little release.
And it's nice because we obviously got to see the guilds going into War of the Spark.
Yeah.
But that was very much centered around the theme of like everything kind of converging on Ravnica.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to be able to go back and be like, hey, this is what each of these guilds are about. Outside of, we need to save the multiverse.
We have to save the world, multiverse world. Yes, yeah. So we don't have the pressure of saving the universe, the multiverse. But we do have our awesome guilds. Which is your favorite guild these days?
Ooh,
because when you started, it was Celestia.
I know, wild. Can you all believe that? I had a non-blue alliance.
Very strange.
I would say Izzet.
Yeah, Izzet's your
definitely
guild now,
my
for
guild.
Sure.
Yeah.
And my favorite back then was Rakdos because it was very fun in RTR block. And also it was the first draft, my first draft I ever did, I drafted a Rakdos deck and I did really good with it. So
Maria, you could see Exava again in this
I do love
remaster.
Exava. She was so cool.
Your best friend could come back.
She's so neat. And I still align myself with the Rakdos guild. So I think that's very fun.
Yeah.
Even though
Red is the place where we overlap.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like truly, I'm probably more of a Celestia person because that's like creatures and stuff now, but But I can't say no to Rakdos.
This is very creature-ish.
Because it's just so fun.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to go back in that remastered set and draft some guilds.
Yeah. I guess I also would consider, I think I'm pretty solidly, is it?
Well, what about Dimir?
My next one would be Dimir or even Simic. Like, I like Simic's weird science.
Yeah, and Simic is, I mean, we were just talking about Tarkir, but that's pretty cool colors to draft in that set. Everybody heads up.
Secret plans.
And we're in Ravnica for another reason. They didn't just go back just to go back for funsies. They went back because the next set after Ravnica Remastered is Murders at Karlov Manor.
So this is the first set, normal set of 2024.
Yes.
And this is a top-down murder mystery set on Ravnica.
I'm so excited.
But not about the guilds. It is so cool.
Thank you for doing this, everybody. I love murder mysteries. Number one, big time fanboy. And the fact that they're doing this, I think, is really cool. Like Meghan said, we're not messing around with the guilds. We're messing around solving a murder.
Yes.
And they released some key art for this set, including what looks to be like Massacre Girl.
Yes, that's absolutely Massacre Girl.
I mean, if your name is Massacre Girl, I feel like you're getting called in for questioning. Yeah. There's been some murders.
Hey, there's been some murders. Point this out. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that we should call in Massacre Girl.
What? Why?
It just seems likely. We see Aurelia, right? That's Aurelia.
Yes, I love Aurelia.
We see, I forget this lizard scientist's name.
There's a lizard. Who is this front and center, though? Is this
I don't know.
I heard a rumor. Is this true that there's only going to be one planeswalker in sets moving forward?
Yeah.
And so this is probably
I think so.
The planeswalker.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Oh, you think this is new planeswalker?
It could be.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who that is.
And then this is, who's the goblin friend? Which goblin friend is that?
Krark.
Is that Krark?
From the clan of his Ironworks.
What?
I
thought that it was Muxus. No, but it's not Muxus.
I don't know.
Which goblin is this on Ravnica?
Who is this vampire? I also recognize this vampire.
I think that the vampire might be a new vampire.
Oh, that'd be cool.
A new vampire friend. Because it's not it's obviously not Olivia.
No, it's not.
So yeah, we have some new faces and some old faces we cannot recognize.
And the other deal with this set is that there's going to be mysteries, they say, woven into the game for players to solve along with the gameplay. So what does
that even mean? Okay, I'm so excited.
This is what I think. I think there's going to be a murder, and we're going to be able to solve it through the clues of the cards and the flavor text and the art.
Oh, so it's not going to come out in the story. It's going to be you have to figure it out.
Ooh, isn't that cool?
That is very cool.
I think that'd be very cool.
That'd be cool.
There was a book I had as a child. What the heck was it called? The 11th Hour, I want to say. And that was a book that was a giant poem, and it was beautifully illustrated. And there was a mystery. The mystery is who ate all the cheese or something like that? Who ate all the dessert? I don't know. And there was clues visually and in the text as to which of the animals had done it.
Uh-huh.
And let me tell you, it was one of the greatest moments of my life having to solve that mystery through that book. It was very cool, everybody. I highly encourage you to check it out if you've never heard of this.
Eat all the cheese.
I don't want to spoil it, so I won't say.
Wow, you can go and find out.
I definitely didn't get it right as a child because it was actually really hard. But I think as an adult, it would be a fun thing to go back and check out again.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking is happening on Ravnica.
Also, we have to have investigate as a
as
a mechanic again.
Do. Of course we do.
We'll be investigating
clue tokens.
We'll be making some clue tokens.
Yeah, we also could have. What if we had clue and blood tokens?
Oh,
would they give us such a treat in one set?
That would be.
I kind of doubt it.
I doubt that. Yeah,
but maybe. For sure, investigate. There's also going to be a Clue version, of Clue that's going to go along with the release of this.
I know.
Which is very funny to me. As a youth, I loved playing Clue.
Yeah. I will say I played it once as an adult. Different experience.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Do you know what? You're just walking around guessing, and that's kind of it.
You get, at some point, you get enough information where you can make a correct call if you've asked the correct questions at the correct times.
But sometimes you're just on the wrong side of the board to ever be able to win the game.
Oh, Clue.
Oh, Clue.
So that's the second big release of quarter one of 2024. And then the last release of quarter one of 2024 is Universes Beyond Fallout, which is happening next March.
Yeah, so this is going to be pre-con commander decks, kind of like the Doctor Who ones that we have coming out this fall.
Are you familiar with Fallout at all?
Not really.
Has this entered your orbit?
I only know from our friend who talks about it all the time.
Yeah, I've never played Fallout or anything, so.
And it's also very funny because it's our friend who does not play a ton of video games.
Yeah.
She plays a lot of Fallout, though.
Fallout, though.
Talks about organizing lunchboxes.
The world of Fallout is extremely well done. I say from just like the tiny bit of media I've consumed about Fallout. So the world building is A+, which I think should lend itself to some very cool commander decks.
Absolutely.
If that's your jam.
You know, I'm excited for people who are excited about it.
Right, precisely. So that'll be like the Warhammer decks that we had this past year. Next up is another big set release. This is Outlaws of Thunder Junction, kicking off Q2 of 2024.
I worked on this one.
So what, you did flavor text for this set?
I did flavor text and card names for this set.
Wow. Okay, so you have some information that I am not privy to.
I cannot talk about this because I don't want to say things that aren't known.
You got it. All right, I'm going to say my thoughts here. Okay.
All right.
So this is a villains set. That's what they're calling it. And it's set in the Wild West, which players have been wanting to go to for a long time. They've been asking for it. Finally, here it is. A villain set. Not really sure what that means, but maybe it's like a bunch of villains fighting off against another bunch of other villains, you know? So it's like, you know, some are doing train robberies, some are doing bank robberies, and one's like, hey, we want to do all the robberies. And the other one's like, well, we want to do all the robberies, train, bank, or otherwise.
I love that movie. train bank or otherwise.
Classic of the 80s.
A classic holiday comedy.
And they're trying to have primo villain supremacy here in the Wild West.
Yes.
They've released one piece of art from this set, which features a giant figure with their head down, wearing a sweet hat, holding some knives, and super cool shoulder pads. I think this is Oko. Other people have said they think it's Oko as well. Cactuses, cacti in the foreground, and a few figures walking out of the horizon away from the sunset.
Yeah. Do you feel like you recognize any of these figures walking out?
Yeah. So I think I do. So I think one of them, the one that's in the background up here, that is Oko. That's my guess. I didn't make that guess. Somebody else on the internet did. I think that's an easy Vraska because someone's got snake hair happening.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that, well, I was going to say this, she could be walking with Jace, her BF, but also Jace doesn't have long hair like that. So I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
And then there's a tiny there's a little friend over here who's a villain, who's a little guy. Definitely not Fibblethip because they're not a villain. And also that's too tall to be Fibblethip. Some kind of gobbo.
Yeah.
I want to say. And then there's a dragon hanging out with them too. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. All I can identify for sure is Vraska.
I mean, snake hair.
The snake hair gave it away. What can I say?
Snake hairs.
But that sounds very cool.
This was a super fun set to work on. I had a this is one of my favorite sets that I've ever been able to creatively work on.
That's awesome.
It was just sick.
I mean, Flavortown population, this set.
And like really cool to be able to work on. It's the first one that I worked on that's like brand new.
Yeah.
You know, and so it was just very cool to get to explore making stuff happen.
I love it. I'm very excited. So that is coming out the first part of Q2 2024, followed up by what is sure to be another banger, which is Modern Horizons 3.
Oh, yeah. So Modern Horizons 2, we saw it this past Pro Tour.
Yeah.
Like what an effect Modern Horizons 2 has had on the format.
Absolutely.
With the Evoke Elementals.
Yeah. So we kind of didn't get as much fanfare with the release of Modern Horizons 2 because of the pandemic and everything. Yep. So I'm happy that Modern Horizons 3 is coming out now, and people are very, very, very excited for this set.
Yeah.
They say for the first time it's going to feature double-faced cards.
Oh.
So Modern Horizons, over its history, 1 and 2, has featured almost every single mechanic in Magic. Yeah. And the only one they hadn't done, I think, is double-faced cards. And so now we're finally going to get that with 3 here.
Nice.
So we'll see if we can have another huge splash in Modern with the release of the set. I know a lot of people looking forward to it.
They say it's going to be a complex draft environment with a lot of fun themes, and it's going to be on Arena.
Yes!
So exciting.
Let's go.
Yeah,
they say, like, don't freak out. We're not saying we're putting Modern on Arena, but you are getting Modern Horizons 3.
Pretty sick.
So I know what I'm going to be hoping for one day, but very excited to play this on Arena. I think that's a huge upgrade.
Yeah.
So we did not get that with 2.
No.
All right. After that.
All right. Whew. Next up, so much stuff. There's Universes Beyond Assassin's Creed coming out in July.
All right. So this, the release of this is not going to be like Lord of the Rings, if that's what you're thinking. It's not. It is small. So it's going to feature something new in Magic, a new type of booster pack, which is called a Beyond Booster.
So this seems like it's not draftable, they say.
Nope.
That focuses on the world of Assassin's Creed. And so it seems like maybe this is going to be some kind of Universes Beyond product that they're focusing on going forward or that they're trying out.
Yeah.
Right? Because so far we've seen like Universes Beyond Secret Lairs. We had the full set that was Lord of the Rings.
Right.
We've had the Precon Commander decks.
Right.
And so this is a new type of product to kind of add to that retinue of Universes Beyond
The only other thing we've had is like those like cards that are new cards that are like released like Street Fighter or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And those ones just showed up as their own kind of little thing.
Yeah. Or like we talked about also, or we're missing the ones that are in regular set boosters like Transformers and Godzilla and that sort of stuff.
Exactly. So this is a new type of thing.
Yeah.
From what I can tell, it kind of feels like this is the only way it's being released. I mean, maybe they'll put out they didn't say anything else. So
I don't know.
In my head, I'm like, oh, maybe they'll make commander decks for it or whatever. But I feel like they would have said that if they were going to.
So they say this is going to feature new cards and reprints, which is interesting. It'll have like some kind of like reskins of cards, like again, kind of like the Godzilla ones,
right?
And that some of them, at least, will be modern legal.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is all the information we have as of this point about these Beyond boosters and the Assassin's Creed set.
Yeah.
But if they are thinking about putting out Universes Beyond sets in just like their own special booster, and that's the only thing they do, if that's what this is, I think that's kind of a neat way to get other IP in there without doing too much, as the kids say. And new cards, then I imagine they will release Magic versions of any new cards that they print.
Those will be on the list.
And so those will show up in boosters as well eventually. It's interesting.
Again, Assassin's Creed, not a world that I care about, but
I don't know anything about it.
I'm happy for people who like it.
I think it's interesting because I have had people be like, oh, Assassin's Creed, I love Assassin's Creed. I'm going to look into that product with Magic. I've heard that. So if their goal is to make new Magic players, I think they might be on the right track here.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Assassin's Creed happening next July. After that, we had another big set of the year, and this is Bloomborough.
Oh my goodness, this is the one that is all anthropomorphic animals, no humans.
Get out, humans.
Oh, it's the one where there's like the key art of a little mouse with a sword and a little leaf cape.
It's so
Look
cute.
at his leaf cape.
This is a very cute set.
It's so cute.
Mark Rosewater said he loved working on this set and that it was just adorable and huggable.
Like fun. It seems like a nice break between like murder mystery and now like we get a break. They also say
we have whiplash with the next set. Spoiler alert.
They say it's the start of the Dragonstorm story arc.
Okay.
So story arcs so far have been like kind of like big bads.
Yes.
We had the Eldrazi's returning. That was like a big arc. We had Nicol Bolas with his evil plan. We had the Phyrexians returning.
Yep.
And so this is some kind of new story.
Some kind of dragon storm, if you will.
Exactly. I'm interested to see. Maria, give me one prediction. What is a dragon storm?
All the dragons get together and they're like, why are we letting other people
do anything?
Because we're dragons.
Exactly.
And they're like, yeah, good point. And they try to take over everything. That's my guess.
I feel like, what if it's like powerful, like elementalist channelers starting to channel the power of dragons?
Ooh.
And creating like some kind of like, it's not naturally occurring dragons. It's like, channeled magical dragons. Naturally occurring dragons.
Amazing. That would be cool too.
Yeah.
Bloomborough looks very, very cute.
It looks so cute. I'm so excited for this set.
I hope there's squirrels.
Yeah.
Mark Rosewater's being like, I'm putting squirrels into standard normally now. So here would be a perfect home for them wearing some kind of cute hat.
Yes.
I'm excited.
I will say that I am actually super excited for the next set, though.
No, me too.
Which is the fall set for 2024 will be Duskmourn House of Horror.
I love this. This is top-down design, meaning they started with the idea and they built out from there. It is a modern horror set focused on horror movies from the 80s on a brand new world, which takes place inside one giant mansion.
I'm so excited.
This is my jam. I hope we get a little bit of 70s horror in there too, art-wise.
It looks this one piece of key art of like a person looking in a mirror that has like tons of really terrifying mutations of their own face in it is like, this art is legitimately
it is scary.
Terrifying.
I thought this would be like in running for your grossest card.
I mean, yeah, I think
this person has
no, Maria,
multiple mouths.
You don't need to. It's not okay. The multiple mouths is bad, but you know that it's the top right corner, many eyes.
Oh yeah, the many eyes.
That's not my.
Yep.
Like that one is the worst of them all, very honestly. Anyways, I'm so excited for this set.
They said they are not pulling any punches with the set, that it's going to be legitimately scary and the art's going to be legitimately gross, and that they're just basically going from A to Z here, from Bloomburrow to Duskmourn.
Do you know what? Great. Let's do it.
Let's completely flip the script.
Yeah.
Extremely excited for this set. Probably the set I'm most excited for coming out. Oh no, but Murders at Karlov Manor. I can't choose. I can't choose.
All bangers.
Yeah, seriously, these all look really, really good.
Yeah.
So very, very exciting stuff. That rounds out 2024.
Yeah.
Next year we have a lot to look forward to. I'm really, really excited for all of that.
Yeah.
But I'm even more excited for what's coming out in 2025, 2026.
Wow. I don't know. I'm equally excited about all of that.
So they've never gone this far into the future, by the way, with revealing what's going to happen.
They did it to celebrate Magic's 30th anniversary at GenCon.
Like, why not? Happy 30th birthday, Magic.
Happy 30th birthday.
So let's talk about 2025, 2026.
We're going to get an Innistrad remastered set in paper.
Yes.
Very cool. So from the many times we've been to Innistrad.
Is this what you're going to do at the start of every year? Like Ravnica remastered and here's the Innistrad remastered happening?
What would be the next remastered?
My gosh, I don't know. And I feel like we've done them all. Like, what have we been to a million times? Not that many.
Yeah.
Other than Innistrad and Ravnica, that have got to be the two most visited planes, right?
I think so.
So maybe they just don't have enough bandwidth to do one anymore. We'll see what happens. So they're going to start with that. And now we're getting to the realm of code names for Magic sets.
Yeah.
Starting with tennis.
Yes, they call this a, quote, death race across 3 different worlds.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm very excited. Also, they teased that this is the 3 different planes are 2 new ones and one that we know of but haven't been to. And everyone knows my guess for that is Vryn. I've been asking us to go to Vryn for forever.
Yes, you have.
I really want it to be Vryn. Vryn seems like it would be the appropriate kind of place for this.
Yeah, I agree.
So anyways.
They released one piece of concept art for this set, which shows some kind of, I don't know.
It looks a little Mario Kart-ish.
It does look like Mario Kart. They've got a flaming elemental car.
Yeah.
And then there is a cool, like, a scooter. I don't know.
Like motorcycle, tricycle. And I'm just saying, like, the wheels on that motorcycle look a little bit
like the rings on Vryn.
Like the rings on Vryn.
They do. I also had the same thought when I saw it.
Okay.
So I think you could be right. And the winner has to go through the last ring on Vryn. That's like the finish line.
Oh, interesting.
And of course, we'll be getting vehicles again in that set. I mean, I don't know that, but also I just know that. So whatever. That's tennis.
Yeah.
Then there's Ultimate, which guess what, Megan? Is a return to Tarkir.
Yes.
Yep.
Morph. Tarkir.
I mean, they've got to put it back in there, don't they?
I love Tarkir so much.
I feel like
you have to.
You've got to morph it.
I feel like you have to.
Hey, if you're in the middle of designing that set, Wizards, and you haven't put morph in it, I need you to stop.
Put morph in it.
Go back and put morph in it. Thank you.
Then we know that there is going to be a Final Fantasy Universes Beyond set that is going to be a full set like Lord of the Rings was.
Wow.
It will be available on Arena. It will be fully draftable.
How about Final Fantasy? Has that been something you've engaged with?
No.
Me either.
But
never.
I know a lot of people who play it a lot.
So, I mean, I'll be interested to see what they do with it. And maybe I'll learn a little bit of the lore.
Interesting.
Of all of the fantasies and their finales. After that,
we have volleyball.
This one is the start of Maria's massive excitement because volleyball is a space set.
Yes, specifically a space opera. So cool.
I've been wanting a space set since day number 1.
Yes.
And the way that I was thinking about it was that it was set in the blind eternities because that to me was like space.
But I think it's going to be a plane where the plane is space.
The plane is just space.
The plane is space.
Like, this is going to answer a lot of questions for me.
Yeah.
What's between the planes in Magic?
don't know.
Like,
The blind eternities.
well, is that, I mean,
Yes.
well, then what's space? Is it just like,
Space is space.
you see what I'm saying? You see the problem I'm having here?
Look, Maria, you can consider, like, Earth is on a plane, right?
Question, are planes flat?
Uh-oh. Maria's a flat planer.
I'm a flat planer. I'm a flat planer. Aren't they? Don't you think of them as flat?
No, because
they're called a
Ixalan has an
plane?
inside. And do you know what doesn't have an inside? A sheet of paper.
They could be cubes. They could be cubes.
But a cube isn't flat.
Okay, yeah, that's
It has
true.
flat surfaces,
Yeah.
but it is not itself flat.
You can fall off the side of a cube.
I don't think that you could.
The blind eternity.
I think that you would turn the corner of the cube.
Does gravity work the same on every plane, or is it different on some planes?
I don't know. Space plane is probably going to work different.
But are there multiple planets on space plane, or is a plane like a planet? And then, so for
Well,
space
think
plane,
of Infinity, right? Infinity was set in space, and that had different planets, but it's all on the same plane.
because it was like a giant carnival
Yes.
planet.
Yes. Plane.
So the plane itself is flat, but it has 3-dimensional worlds.
It's a cube,
that are circles
but
in.
rather than being, okay, here's a plane is a cube, but rather than being the surface of the cube, the plane is the inside of the cube.
The gelatinous middle.
Yes.
Wow.
We're all just here living in the gelatinous middle. Which is what Jimmy Eat World's song, The Middle, is about.
Wizards, can you answer our questions about planes and how they work geographically? Otherwise, I'm going to start a website all about being a flat planer, and you don't
Wow.
want to see where that goes.
No, I don't. I really don't.
There are so many of us all over the globe. Anyway, volleyball space opera set. The art they've released for it, which is just some more concept art, looks very, very cool. I'm here for it. And then to my excitement, to raise it to even higher levels, the next set coming out, which is wrestling, is set back on Lorwyn.
Yeah.
Finally.
Wow. It's been forever.
It's been forever.
But here we go.
I love Lorwyn. It's based on Celtic lore, which is my jam. It's where we got Llanowar elves for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm just so excited because we started playing after anything from Lorwyn. I don't know why it's been so long since we've gone back.
But here it is.
Here it is. And I could not be more hyped for both volleyball and wrestling, which is a sentence I never thought I would say in my life.
And then going into 2026, we know that there will be a set on Arcavios, which is the home of Strixhaven. So maybe we're going to see more of, the Auric, the spooky villains,
the
or
villains.
more of the world that exists outside the school of Strixhaven.
So that one is called keyword yachting.
Yeah.
So then we're going to release, we're going to reach the end of the alphabet, which is how they do their keyword sets, with Z, which is zip lining.
Yeah, so this is the grand finale of the Dragonstorm storyline.
Wow. So all culminating in zip lining before they start over again with A and a new kind of theme for all of their keywords. This one was sports, obviously.
Yes.
And I don't know. I think this looks great.
I'm excited. I'm super excited.
We talked about when episode that's coming out next week. We talked about an episode that's coming out next week. What a weird sentence to say, but we pre-recorded it, everybody. We talk about Mark Rosewater's 2023 State of Design article and how Wizards felt like the design year of 2023 went with all of the Phyrexian stuff, the Brothers War, Phyrexia Obi-Wan, etc. And I kind of like, well, how do we feel about that kind of feeling the same? Well, all of this stuff feels extremely different.
I felt like, do you know what? That stuff was all a little samey.
Yeah.
How about we go the other end? Everything's going to be wildly different. We're going to go from like Agatha Christie-esque murder mystery to the Wild West to like anthropomorphic adorable animals to absolute terror of 80s horror.
I think that's great.
Pretty cool.
So which one of these are you most excited for?
Oh, that's so hard to say. Once again, like I loved I loved working on Thunder Junction, and I'm so excited for people to see it. But I think I'm probably most excited for Duskmourn.
Yeah, I think that looks really cool.
I'm very excited to see what they do. I also love the idea that it's a plane that's all the inside of one house.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, just like an infinite house.
Are you most excited for Ultimate, which is a return to Tarkir in 25-26?
In 25-26, it's probably Return to Tarkir.
Yeah.
I mean, I do love me a space opera, but I love Tarkir so much.
So cool. So everybody, that is the look into the future that's coming your way. Yeah, there is a lot to look forward to, a lot to be excited about. If you have something you're particularly looking forward to, feel free to tell us about it in our Discord. We'd love to have a chat because there is so much different stuff happening over the next couple of years in Magic. An exciting time to be involved in the game, I would say, because it looks like there's something for everybody.
Okay, Maria.
Yes.
I'm going to real quick run you through the first episode of the Wilds of Eldraine story, which is mostly a lot of setup of what the world of Eldraine looks like right now.
So post Phyrexian invasion.
Phyrexian invasion.
Okay, great.
There's also, you can now listen to these stories if you want to. At the top of each story, they have a little YouTube video that you can hit play on, and it just reads the story to you.
Oh, that's
cool.
So
in case that's your jam. But I'm here to give you the abbreviated rundown.
Great. The Spark Notes.
Okay, so we're on Eldraine, and everyone's real sad because obviously the king and queen died.
They got died.
Kenrith died.
R.I.P.
Exactly. In the war, they were fighting. Will is now king, but he looks like a kid and everyone calls him the boy king. And Rowan's even kind of like,
Rude.
I think that you kind of deserve that.
You look like a tween, Rowan. Sorry.
Exactly.
I mean, Will, said Rowan.
And so it turns out that there's a knight in one of the forests / in the town areas. Her name is Imodane, and she's been having towns pay her a tithe to fight off raiders, but also the raiders kind of look like the knights who work for her.
Interesting.
So she's kind of
suspicious.
She's running a scam a little bit.
Yeah.
Over here.
Classic Godfather part
Exactly.
2.
And so Will goes to Imodane and is like, hey, nice to meet you. And she's like, you can call me Queen Imodane. And he's like, whoa.
Can I now? Interesting.
All right. And Imodane's like, I don't respect you. And Will's like,
straight up,
how about we fight? And Rowan's like, Imodane literally fought in the war against the Phyrexians, lost her arm and has some cool magic tree arm instead. She's real tough and real spooky. And Rowan's like, Will, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And Will's like, yeah, we're going to fight and then you'll have to respect me.
Well, your logic, I gotta say.
Exactly. Rowan's like, Will, you're going to lose. And obviously, the terms of the battle are if Will loses, Imodane is queen.
Yeah.
And if Will wins, then he's king and she has to call him that. And so
this sounds like middle schoolers having a fight.
It really does. So anyways, they start fighting. Imodane and Will, and Will does a little bit of magic of making the ground ice, and she falls, but then she scrambles up and hits him with a giant flame hammer.
I'm imagining the yakety sax playing.
It is a little bit. There is a moment that is a little yakety sax.
By the way, Will is not a planeswalker anymore.
No.
Desparked.
They don't know this though.
Oh, they don't.
No, we'll get to that in a second. So Rowan is watching this fight, and things start to go a little bad for Will, and Rowan freaks out, and she feels this huge surge of anger. Speaking of, I feel maybe Rowan could be central to the Dragonstorm story arc.
Okay.
She could maybe be its villain because they keep doing some setups with her anger channeling this really wild red magic power.
This really wild dragon.
And so I feel Rowan could maybe be at the center of some villain arc in the future someday.
Okay, all right.
I don't know.
Great.
Right. She so there's this crazy anger that courses through her, and she feels she's on fire with it. And then she there's this crack of lightning that literally splits a mountain peak in the distance. That's from her.
Whoa.
Exactly. And right. So she literally shatters this mountain with a lightning bolt.
Sick.
And everyone, Will and Imodane,
They're like,
both
hold up.
terrified.
We were just having a yakety sax fight and you blew up a mountain.
To the point where Imodane literally just runs.
Wow.
Imodane is like, this hardened warrior is like, no, thank you, and takes off.
Great.
And Will is like, you should have trusted me. And Rowan's like, you looked like you were... You looked like you were
You're gonna lose,
losing.
buddy.
So anyways, and then all of the warriors around try to attack them and they fight their way out.
Okay.
All right. So Imodane runs away and there in the middle of the wilds, she runs into like two eyes glowing in the dark. Oh, and the eyes are like, I summoned you. Exactly. And Imodane is like, forgive me, your majesty. So we get the sense that this is like the ruler of the Fae, right? And the Fae is like, I summoned you. And then
she's like, that's wild. I was just running this way because I was scared of a lightning bolt. But all right, you summoned me. Sure, you can go on thinking that.
And the Fae person is like, are you pure of heart? In a spooky way.
Yeah.
Right?
And they want the answer to be no.
Exactly. Okay, so then we meet Kellen for the first time. And Kellen is a kid who's getting bullied he lives in like a tiny town.
Yeah.
There's more sheep than people.
Wales.
Exactly. Ireland.
Wow.
More sheep than people. And he like comes home and other kids are bullying him because he's half Fae or has heard that he's half Fae.
Okay.
And so we meet his mom who's like, hey, these kids are being mean to you. I'm sad about it. And then also like his stepdad, who's very nice to him. Exactly. But knows that it's like, right, it's his stepdad. And that this kid is like a half fairy kid. Anyways.
I think that's cool.
He loves his family a lot. It's actually very sweet. Like he and his mom and his stepdad are like a nice family. But he's like, oh, every time I go to the woods, I feel this called from the woods.
Oh.
Right. Anyways, okay, so we go back to castle, one of the castles. Will is there doing king stuff, which turns out to mostly be paperwork.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is pretty realistic.
Sounds like
Will
real
is
life.
like buried under a mountain of paperwork, and Rowan is like,
BRB gonna go blow up another mountain top.
Exactly. Rowan's like, we need to get out of here. Like, we need to planeswalk so that we can find a solution to the slumber that everyone is in.
Yeah, because they put everybody to sleep with the help of a witch or something.
Exactly.
To kill the Phyrexians.
Yes, to like, or just literally to like make the whole plane go to sleep so the Phyrexian invasion halted.
They Snow Whited the entire plane.
Exactly. And so now it's like taking over people on the plane too. And Rowan's like, we're planeswalkers. We can go find answers to this. We don't need to sit here doing all this dumb paperwork.
Yeah.
Will, we gotta go. And Will's like, I can't. I have to be king. And she's like, you didn't even do the high quest that people have to do to become the high king. So don't even walk around being all high and mighty with me.
The high quest is you go to the grocery store for some Doritos.
Yes. And then Rowan is like, fine, if you're not leaving, I'm leaving. And she tries to planeswalk, but she can't. Yeah, she's like, she's like, oh, maybe it's my anger with Will that's maybe it's like this anger that I'm feeling getting in the way. But every time she reaches for her spark, she's like, I can't feel it. Like, it's not there. And she also thinks since they're connected, right, they're twins.
Yep.
And they like sparked like at the same time and everything. And they've always planeswalked together. She's like, oh, maybe it's like Will not wanting to leave that's making it unable for us to planeswalk.
Come on, Rowan.
It's very sad.
It's sad. It is sad.
I know. And so she's like, fine, you can stay here, but I'm leaving. And then she just turns and walks away. Okay. We go back to Kellen.
Yeah.
And Kellen is like going to this willow tree on the edge of the woods where he and his mom always like look at the stars and she tells him stories. Very cute.
Cute.
And he also has a dog named Hex, and the dog is also cute.
That's a cute dog name.
It's a really cute dog name, and the dog is cute. Anyways,
yeah.
So they're waiting up there and he sees his mom coming, but up the hill. But like before she's there, a doorway, like a magic doorway, obviously, appears right in front of him. And he's like, oh, this is obviously the start of a summoning, a journey. If I step through this door, like my life will change. And he's like, do you know what? This is like the pull that I feel. I need to walk through this doorway.
This is when we started to play Magic.
Exactly.
That was our doorway.
Yeah, our doorway. And so he he reaches forward, he walks through the archway, and then all of a sudden, like, the world around him changes, right? There's like beautiful jeweled fruit on the trees.
Great.
There's houses that are like as huge as mountains, like castles that are miniatures with like little miniature knights and stuff. It is magicplace.com.
I want to go. I want to go.
Don't Google magicplace.com. Like, don't try and visit that website.
I'm going right now.
And so, obviously, suddenly there's a figure on a throne in front of them. I like this beautiful figure on a throne in front of them.
Yeah, I need you to guess what is actually at magicplace.com, what it redirects to.
Disney.
Oh, get ready because it is, in fact, Chris Angel.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
Very funny. His website is intense.
This website. I should have seen it coming, but truly,
magicplace.com.
did Chris Angel, famous mind freak, ever did he just buy everything that was like magicothernow.com?
Yes. Amazing.
Okay, sorry, go on.
That's okay. So there's like the beautiful figure on a throne, and Kellen is like, wow, this is wild. And the figure has like a little, a wicked smile and asks, are you true of heart? And Kellen is like, I don't know. I would like to be.
Yeah.
And then also the figure is like, are you truly your father's son? Bearing such wounds as that without having dealt twice as many in return. And Kellen doesn't know who his dad is. So Kellen is like, you know who my dad is? Like, I am half fairy. Like, you know my father? Like, is it you? And
it's a Luke Skywalker sitch here.
Yeah, and so the Fae is like, I'm Lord Talion, and I know a lot of things, but if you want to know who your dad is, you have to do something for me first, right? Like classic dealing with the Fae. You must give me something in return. If you do me a service, I will tell you who your dad is.
It's definitely him.
Yeah. And so Kellen is like, all right, tell me. And so Talion is like, okay, 3 witches like put a magical slumber on this land. Agatha the Hungry lays in wait near the great cauldron.
Sick.
Cruel Hilda has taken Winter's crown for her own. And there's beguiling Ariette. And whoever is brave enough to defeat them will break the curse upon the realm and earn a boon from my ever full treasury. Ooh. And so Kellen is obviously like, yep, I'll do it.
I'm 10.
Yes. And that's the end of the first chapter is Kellen being like into it.
Wow. I love that.
Yes.
And that's very cool. I love defeating 3 witches. Any day, I will do that. Talion, if you ask me,
defeating 3 witches.
I'll get in there.
Yeah.
And we've seen Talion's card already.
They have like a really
and the card
cool,
is very cool,
very powerful. Also,
yes, it is. Seems great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a banger of a way to open the story here on Eldraine.
Great stuff. Tune back in the future for more chapters.
Yes, if you would just like the Spark Notes, we got you.
Yeah,
fam. Well, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us for another week here as we travel into the future. I'm not ready to tell you what your bill costs for all that fortune telling.
All right.
The answer is that I will sometime come to you in the future with a request you cannot refuse.
What?
That's my price.
All right.
It's kind of a spooky price.
It better be just a bag of Durangos.
That's when I go on my high quest. That's what I need.
You're going to send me on your high quest.
To be the high king. A bag of Durangos from 7-Eleven.
Which FYI is for some, like, what our friend group calls Doritos.
Just a better name for them, in my opinion.
Honestly, Doritos should change their name to Durangos.
But yeah, that's a cool start to the story.
Yeah.
And everything that's coming up in Magic, I could not be more excited for.
Yeah.
They've done a great job with making some very neat worlds for us to visit.
Like we mentioned, we already recorded next week's episode because I am out of town. And so next week we look back at the past year. We go through Mark Rosewater's year in review.
Yeah.
And kind of look at what things could be different and if we think that they might be different based on what we're going to see.
Yeah. So that one's really exciting. So look forward to that next week. which means there'll be a slight delay in announcing people from Patreon, but that just means you get 2 episodes for the price of 1, everybody.
Remember to check out the VML Championship this weekend. It's going to be very, very cool.
Twitch.tv/VMLMTG is where to find that. And become a patron to get a shout out on episode 553 over at patreon.com/GLHFmagic. Check out everything Eldraine at cardkingdom.com/GLHF. And go to magicplace.com if you want information on Chris Angel's shows. I can only say that if that's your jam, I mean, why go to chrisangel.com when you could go to magicplace.com?
Thank you one more time to Nathan for you, 7mm Furry, and Robert.
Yay! Thanks everybody for supporting this show and everything else that we do. You know, you're just really cool people.
Yeah, man.
You know, you're just really cool.
You're cool.
And even Chris Angel would say that, which is kind of a really big deal.